Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
Hey, what's wrong with you, man? You ain't subscribed yet? IUIC Atlanta Burning 2.0. What you waiting on? Get it done. Do it now.
Hey, get them clicks, get them likes, and subscribe. Do it now.
That's right.
So guess what? When you say you love the enemy, you saying you love this oppression.
That's right.
You love this slavery. You love what they did to us.
No.
Go ahead, Mr.
You
Richard.
see, what you don't understand, right?
What I don't understand, Mr. Richard.
The Almighty Father, He is the judge. Okay. He is not the judge for saying who is enemy, who is not enemy. Because He in control.
Come on.
Right.
And who have eyes to see will see. Who have ears to hear will hear.
So
And
if the Bible says contrary to what you just said, if the Bible says contrary to what you just said, will you accept it? If I show you in the Bible where you're wrong, are you going to accept it? Do you believe the Bible, Mr. Richard?
I believe the Bible.
Okay, get Psalms 139, verse 21.
The Bible, a lot of things in the Bible was misinterpreted.
Man. So you don't believe the Bible?
What I'm saying.
Hold on, just so I know. So let's get it clear. Do you believe the Bible or you don't believe the
I
Bible?
believe the Bible, and
Okay.
I know the Bible.
So don't say things have
There
been
are things inside
translated.
that was misinterpreted and teach wrongfully unto us.
There was things that was taught wrong to us. I agree.
Yes, good.
The Bible isn't mistranslated.
Right.
You
That's
see,
what I want to make sure that we're clear on.
the Bible was changed so many times, right? But the truth cannot change.
Okay.
Just so we understand the part, right? And why you say the system linked with the government, and if you teach behind this say and go too deep into righteousness, them cut you off.
How you doing, my brother? What's your name, bro?
Them cut off you all
Junior?
association.
All right, what are we talking about with my brothers
Your
right here? We
church,
talking about
your church,
the so-called
system,
blacks,
everybody, them
the
are cut
Hispanics,
off.
the Native Americans, we the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You ever heard that before? That black folks are the real Jews? You heard that before? Where you think it come from? You believe in God? You believe in the Bible? Okay. It comes from the Bible. It comes from the Bible. Because this is our book. This is our history book.
That's right.
But for so long, like for instance, you've seen these pictures before, right? Who do they tell us that is? Jesus, right? But the Bible describes what Jesus looks like. Get Revelations 1. The Bible describes Jesus as a black man. But all our lives, we've been taught that this has been our Lord and Savior. Am I right or wrong about that? I know when I was a kid, on TV, movies, I remember being young and Passion of the Christ came out. And everybody was boo-hooing in the movie theaters and all types of stuff, right? About this movie about Jesus. But guess what? It was built upon lies.
That's right.
It was built upon falsehood. So
Right.
if they'll lie to you about what the man looked like, what else do you think they'll lie to you about? Because you got to consider this. The people that's in the land of Israel today, calling themselves Jews, do they look like me and you? What nation are they? They're white folks, right? White folks calling themselves the people of God.
That's right.
But we got to go to the Bible to find out who the people of God are. Give me Deuteronomy 28. Oh, let's read Revelations first. I'm sorry. Let's get the depiction of Jesus in the Bible.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
How you doing, my sister? You ever read the depiction of Jesus in the Bible? Yeah, the depiction, the description,
Of how
what he looked like?
Yes.
Okay. Which one does he look like this? Is he a white man in the Bible?
No.
So why they give us that? Exactly. My man Bryce on point. Come on, read that.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
Come on.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So it says that Christ had white woolly hair. Who got woolly textured hair? Look at my brother right here. Look at
It's black though. It's not gonna be like God.
It's still woolly textured. It's still woolly textured. It's woolly textured. My brother right here, you got woolly hair. Who got woolly hair on this earth? Black folks do. Black folks do. Come on.
As white as snow.
Come on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Christ had the whites of his eyes were red because he drank wine in moderation. Right? He wasn't shooting laser beams out his eyes like a superhero.
That's right.
Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Now he looks down, John the Revelator looks down at his feet. He said his feet was like unto fine brass. You know what color brass is? What color? Brown. Different derivatives of brown. When you burn it, it turns darker. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So it says it was so dark as if it burned in a furnace. So it's describing the skin color of Christ. How do we know that? Go to Daniel. And let's get further explanation on how we know. What's that, Daniel 9 or Daniel 10? How you doing, my brother? So what we going over right now is the color of Jesus Christ. You believe in Jesus? Is he a white man or a black man? You see that? We should grow up knowing. Because you believe in God, you believe in the Bible describes him, but yet we say we don't know. Now this ain't to shame you, but it's to shame the churches that was supposed to be teaching us all of these years, y'all.
Right.
They haven't been teaching us the true word of God. We've been learning slave religion.
That's right.
White man religion. We was taught this religion, y'all, when we was getting our backs beat in.
Bring it out.
That's where our great-granddaddies learned about Christianity as we know it today.
That's right.
You can put it down, officer. Read that.
Daniel chapter 10, verse 5.
Come on.
Then I lifted up thine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man, clothed in linen, whose linen was girded with fine gold of Euphrates. His body was as like the beryl.
So Christ had a garment on. That's why when you look at the depiction, we got this beryl garment on him. Beryl is green. Come on.
His face as the appearance of lightning.
Come on.
And his eyes as lamps of fire.
Saying the same thing is said in Revelation. His eyes as a flame of fire, right? You remember that? Come on.
His arms and his feet.
And now, it's describing his arms and his feet, right? Come on.
In color.
Read it again.
Like in color to polished brass.
They were like in color to polished brass or fine brass. Brass burnt in a furnace. My bad. Like we described in Revelations.
That's right.
So now, does everybody get a black man from that or y'all get a Caucasian man?
Bring it out.
Let me know before I continue.
I get a brown man.
A black man. A black man.
I was saying black man.
Google when y'all get a chance. You can Google polish of fine brass. You're going to see it's dark brass. It's dark brown, okay?
Dark brown.
So now,
That's what I'm saying.
get me 2 Corinthians 11 and 4. Because they brought us a whole nother Jesus. We talked about the movie earlier, Passion of the Christ. I don't know if y'all remember that. Everybody remember that movie?
Yeah,
Y'all remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe so?
sir.
You remember that movie? Right? Oh, y'all know about they got the Bible movies on like, what's that TV show? TV station. I forgot. But they on TV where they do like the Bible series and all that. The History Channel. They do the Bible series and they all Caucasians. All Caucasians. You don't see no black folks in none of these films. If it is, you might find one. You see what I'm saying? But all the prophets, all the apostles in the Bible, they were black men.
That's right.
So why is it now being reversed? It's to keep our people confused, y'all. It's to keep us confused. Give me that.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Come on.
But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety,
Come on.
so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ.
So Paul was saying, listen, I fear that y'all can be tricked out of the gospel. Because the Christ, understanding Christ is such a simple thing. We understand what the Bible just read about him, but guess who would trick you to believing that this is what Jesus looked like?
Right.
Religion. The white man. When you go to church today, guess what? This is what you're going to see. When you Google Jesus, guess what? This is what you're going to see.
Right.
Who controls that narrative? The same people who control this land. The same ones who raped, robbed, and murdered your ancestors. Come on.
For if he that cometh preacheth another
It
Jesus,
says, for he that come preacheth another Jesus.
whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted,
So now, it says, finish it out.
ye might well bear with him.
So now, is saying that, listen, if we don't receive another Jesus, because this is how the Bible describes Jesus, but this is what we've gotten. You know what that comes with? That another Jesus comes with another spirit, and it comes with another gospel, y'all.
Right.
That's why, how many of y'all celebrate Christmas? Be honest. Come on now, be honest. Don't lie to me up here now.
You're a black person.
Thanksgiving, Easter,
Yes.
right? All these different holidays, y'all. But be honest with me. Where do we get these holidays from? They man-made, right? They nowhere in the Bible for us to celebrate. Yeah. Now, there's some error in that because God gave us days that we should keep. Give me real quick Leviticus 23. God gave us days that we should be celebrating, but instead, we choose to celebrate the man-made ones. Y'all, this ain't the first time this was going on the earth.
Yo.
Hold that, get Matthew 15. Christ had to get on to the scribes and Pharisees about the same thing, y'all. Read.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 1.
Come on.
Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, verse 3, but he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Christ had to get on to them and say, yo, y'all transgress the commandments of God by your traditions. You see what I'm saying? We will go celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving. What is Thanksgiving about, y'all?
Harvesting.
Huh?
Harvesting.
That's what they tell us, but no. Thanksgiving is about the murder of your brothers and sisters.
Right.
Bring it out.
The Native Americans.
That's right.
That's what it's about.
Happy Thanksgiving, America. I'm Donna, and I'm here with my friends to tell you the real history behind this holiday. Growing up, I knew that what they told you in school about Thanksgiving wasn't true. That's not the true story. The true story behind Thanksgiving was, after every killing of a whole village, these European settlers celebrated it, and they called it Thanksgiving. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln became president that it became an official holiday.
He ordered 38 Dakota men to be hung for war crimes after the sacred holiday Christmas.
We take this time to remember our elders who lost their lives due to what really happened. Usually my mom makes a Native American dish for us and we pray.
Growing up, I would be kind of annoyed that they didn't know what actually happened on Thanksgiving and that they're actually celebrating the deaths of many people and many tribes that were lost.
Whether it's to give thanks or to be with your family, you should learn how the holiday was established in the first place.
I'm thankful for being born indigenous to this continent.
I'm thankful that I still have my culture.
I'm thankful that my elders kept our culture alive all these years.
I'm thankful to be indigenous, resilient, and alive.
I'm thankful for us all to be able to stand together, stand strong, and stand as one.
Happy Thanksgiving, America.
That's what it's about, y'all. And we go and we celebrate that today. And we say, oh, it's about family.
Bring it on.
Black folks, we done created a whole culture about. Y'all seen that song on social media where what's her name from the Shirley Caesar. She was like, I got green, ham, made us. And black folks, we love that stuff, right? Because we know we tear up some soul food on Thanksgiving, right? Why we can't cook that on the days that the Lord gave us to cook? You see what I'm saying? Why we got to celebrate their holidays? These things that we keep, y'all, is going to destroy us. The nations understand that if they keep us in sin, we're going to stay at the bottom. Who tired of being at the bottom? Raise your hand. If you tired of being at the bottom of society, raise your hand. You laugh because you like, who would want to be at the bottom, right? But there's things that's required of us to get from the bottom. Really quick, I'm going to show y'all something. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. And we're going back to Leviticus 23. Because God called us the greatest people ever, y'all.
That's right.
We God's children. But why are God's people in the ghetto? Why we at the bottom of society? How come the churches ain't giving us the solutions that we need? Listen, when I was a young man, still up until now, the church has been teaching the same old tired song, sow a seed, right? Prosperity. Right. That's all that it's about. These pastors, they just teach for money. They're not concerned about your soul. Because if they was, they would teach the things of the Bible. Read that. Right. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Listen to what God says about y'all.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
God says that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, y'all are a holy people unto him. Come on.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
God chose you to be special to him. You're not like everybody else. Right. You're not like the Caucasian man. You're not like the Chinese man. You're not like the Arab man. You're different. Right. And we know that. Black folks, we know that. Black folks, we know we the strongest people. Who think we not the strongest people? Who think we weak? You see that? Black folks know we strong. We know to go through what we went through in slavery, you got to be strong. That's right. Read.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
The Bible just said that God told his people that they are above all people upon the face of the earth. But hold on. Don't we go to the streets and we march and we protest for equality? Right. What was happening during the civil rights movement? You probably old enough to remember, right? No? You don't know what's going on during the 70s and 80s?
Oh, yeah, I know it. I thought you said was I back there in it. No,
I'm not saying. I'm saying you was probably...
I know of it.
Yeah. Y'all look, we read about it like in history and school and stuff like that. They taught us about what Martin Luther King did. Now, what was some of the things that Martin Luther King was fighting for back then?
Basically equality, yeah. Equality, freedom of speech. Like being able to just go down and sit down with the white people. And
we wanted to be with white folks. Yeah. You see that? When really we should have been separate. We should have enjoyed being separate and built up our own. Right. You see what I'm saying? Because when we integrated, we destroyed ourselves even more. Hold on, Mr. Richard, I got you.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So God says that you are above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? But we haven't been taught that. Was you taught that coming up?
I learned it.
Heck no. Y'all can step up under the shade too. I know it's hot out there.
We're gonna push it up.
Pull it up.
Yes, sir.
Y'all come under the shade, man. Y'all come under the shade. So now, give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32. So now, because we got to identify who these people are that God is talking to. Because what would you say your nationality is? Huh? Other. And then what do you put when they tell you to fill out? Huh? But look, why do we got to select other?
Because it basically want us to present something that they already done put in the platform.
Right. So what are the things that they tell us that we are?
Black and African American, Native American, Indian,
right.
White, Hispanic.
Right. And now, these things that we call ourselves, God never named us that. Right. We're going to show you how we, those people that are the same, you know, the so-called Jewish community today, right? They're pretending to be you. They're pretending to be God's chosen people.
Teach.
But we're going to see in the Bible who God said these people are. Because God left signs for us to know who these people are. Those people were placed in that land in 1948. You see what I'm saying? They are new to that land. But who are the original inhabitants of that land? That's what you got to ask. Deuteronomy 28, start at verse 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32.
Come on.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So now, one curse that God said would fall upon the children of Israel because of their disobedience was that their sons and their daughters would be given unto another people. Who did that happen to? Black folks, right? What you said, my sister?
I said African.
African Americans, right? So-called. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
So it says that your kids will be taken from you and you would be looking to get them back, but you would have no power to get them back. Who does that sound like? Black folks, right? When they was being sold, niggas sold to so-and-so, right? On the Johnson plantation. Did we have power to get our kids back? No. Even though we know we physically stronger.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You could probably put one of them in chokehold and choke them out real quick.
That's right.
But how come back then we didn't have the power to do so?
They were brainwashed.
Because this is a spiritual thing.
Right.
God did this.
That's
God did this, and we're going to prove it. Come on. Verse 37.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
It says, wherever you were led through captivity, you were going to have different names, different titles. And it says you were going to have proverbs and bywords about you. Proverbs are wise saying about you.
Right.
Like, there's a thing called colored people time. What does that mean? Huh?
Late?
You late as hell. Black folks love chicken and what?
Watermelon.
Yeah, you got it. Chicken and watermelon. These are wise sayings or proverbs about us. They're not really wise, but what? They mock us.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And it says that we will become an astonishment. The nations look at us in astonishment. What's your name? Tantravius. Dang. Mama jacked you up.
I love my name.
Hey, but listen, I had a jacked up name too. I had to change it because I had to go back to what my forefathers and what God called us. Right now we know the language is different, but God says we will speak a different language in this day too. But we'll get into that, right? But I'm just joking with you about that. Can I call you Time for short? All right, so I forgot what I was going to ask you, but read on, verse 37. Come on.
Yes, sir. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Oh, I was talking about the astonishment because when the nations look at us, they are astonished at how we treat one another. They're astonished that when you look on the TV and you watch our music videos, who's usually shaking their behinds in our videos? Is it white women? Right. Is it Asian women? Dude. No, it's our own sisters doing it, right? Yeah. Our own sisters is on the video shaking their behind. You see what I'm saying? What are we usually doing in the music videos? We're usually smoking weed. I was rolling on Instagram today. What you see? What's the dude name? Something money man. Money man? No, not Money Bag. It was different. Money Man. I think his name Money Man. And he had a bunch of weed. He was in the video showing off the weed, showing off the money. These are things that we do. The nations look at it like, look at these guys. Right. See what I'm saying? Come on. Verse 43.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
So it says, the strangers shall get up above you very high. Meaning, when we came out of Egypt, right, the nations followed us because they saw how the Lord just destroyed the Egyptians for us.
Right.
So it says, the strangers that's among you, they're going to get up above you very high, and you're going to come down very low. When you look at the hierarchy today, right, who's at the top of society? The white man.
Right.
Who's at the bottom of society? Nah, ain't it?
The majority, which is...
Who is the minority?
The minority is the white people, but the majority is the black, Hispanic, and Native American.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Black folks is at the bottom, to keep it plain. We at the bottom. Don't nobody want to trade places with us. Only thing they want from you is your swag. That's it.
Right.
They want your drip. They don't want nothing else from you. They don't want your problems. They don't want your neighborhoods. They don't want your communities. They don't want none of that. All they want is your swag.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you.
That's why, guess what? When you see these rappers get famous and their music blow up and they had these concerts with 20, 40,000 people in the crowd, how many of those folks usually be black folks? Huh?
The majority, like 80%.
I'm talking about those big, like, for instance, I'll take DMX for example. I remember watching a DMX concert a long time ago, and it was nothing but white folks in the crowd.
Yeah.
white folks be the ones buying the tickets. We be the ones buying the tickets to the clubs to see so-and-so. Or so-and-so coming to the club. We're going to go to the... Now, I'm not saying black folks don't go to concerts. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, white folks, they want to be like you, but they don't want to be you.
Right.
Come on.
Verse 46.
So I'm going over these curses because these curses identify who the people of God really are. Because God said that these things would happen to these people because they disobeyed him, right? So you got to say, did this happen to everybody else or did this happen to us? And if it happened to us, then that means that we fit the people of the book and that we are the people of the book. Come on.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
So now, these things would happen, y'all, because we did not keep God's commandments. I want y'all to remember that. These things God said he would put on us because we did not keep his commandments. Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
It says these things, the curses God would put on us, were going to be on us for a sign and for a wonder. Now, what do we look at signs for? For instance, there's a Family Dollar. What's the purpose of that sign? For direction. It points you in the right direction. So these things, these curses God said he would put on us to be identifying markers in the last days of who the true children of Israel were.
Right.
Read.
And upon thy seed forever.
It says that would be upon your seed forever. Meaning your great-grandkids, they grandkids, they great-grandkids is going to follow them until what? Until the Messiah returns.
That's right.
Read.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
It says God would have gave us everything, but we chose not to serve him. We didn't want to keep the Sabbath day. We didn't want to keep the new moons. We didn't want to keep the feast days that God ordained in the Bible.
Right.
Feast of Tabernacles, all of these things, right? We rather keep Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Bring it out.
We rather keep our birthday and Valentine's Day. We rather keep Easter.
Right.
But God says, no, you got to do what I told you to do. Read.
Therefore, shall thou serve thine enemies.
Look what it said, Tom. It said, therefore, because you don't want to listen to what I said, right? You want to disobey me. He said, therefore, read.
Thou shalt serve thine enemies.
God says, let me see how you do serving your enemies. Go serve them since you don't want to serve me. Come on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Now, who did it say sent them? God, right? God is the one that sent our enemies against us. Really quick, read Malachi 3 and 6. Yeah, I think it's Malachi 3 and 6. Yeah, that's what I want. So now, it says that God would be the one that sent them, right? Because we oftentimes think that God is just, is a saying in the church that God is good all the time and all the time. You see that? But sometimes God can do some, look, God did this to us. Right. You got to think about that. That ain't always good. Right. It taught us a lesson, but we had to go through that.
Right.
That's what I want. Come on. Amos 3 and 6.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
Come on.
Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord had not done it?
You see that? It says, shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Because a lot of times we give the credit to Satan or the devil. But it's like I was telling the brothers earlier, Satan works for the Most High God.
Right.
He works for him. The Lord tells Satan, hey, do this, boom, boom, boom. Hey, don't do that. Go ahead, you can do that.
Right.
Go back.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So if we want anything in this world, guess who we got to go to? We got to go to our enemies for that.
Right.
They're not our friends. The people who had yokes of iron on our neck are not our friends. If you want a job, If you want anything, if you want to go to school, you got to take out loans. Guess what? Guess where that money go to? Go to your enemies.
Right.
When we buy these nice cars, Silverado, Chevrolet, pickup truck, Kia, all of this, that's where this money go to. This money go to the other nations, to the people that hate your guts.
Right. That's right.
Now, I'm not telling you to be foolish and that you don't have to drive a car to get to work. You got to be conscious of what's going on around you. These people are not your friends. Come on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Now, Ton, it said the yokes of iron would be on our necks up until we was destroyed. It said the yokes of iron would be on our necks up until we was destroyed. So that tells you what about black folks today?
We still got the yoke on our neck.
That we destroyed.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Though we not walking around shackled and bound, the mentality is still there.
Right.
The same way when you train an animal, you train a dog, and you keep them on that leash up until they know not to go past that line no more.
Bring it up.
Or when you do like this, they know to come sit down right here. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the same way the white man got black folks trained.
That's right.
They accomplished the task that God gave them.
Right.
We'll put it like that, right? Now we know that we're going to overcome, but only those of us that do what God said are going to overcome.
That's right.
The only way out of punishment, y'all, is to do what the Father told us to do. You see what I'm saying?
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.